Hi. You can share mine.
Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm sure I had some around here, but that's okay.
We're a little late. We're here for the free bonus training on reclaiming and really feeling like you're embodying the parts of you that you think you lack and that you think are only out there in other people, and that it's just not who you are.
Even though you actually really would love it to be you, right? Like, I really wish I was a playful mother, or I really wish I was more patient, or, you know.
And it's things that you believe you don't have, but you also believe are kind of important. And they're like the things that you'll need in order to be that mother you want to be, but there's like a block.
Yeah. You need them, you really want them, but you feel deficient in them.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that.
So
what is holding you back from your wholeness, from showing up the way you want, and from claiming these qualities or finding them, cultivating them?
And you've probably seen us talk about shadows, but you might not have seen us talk that much about light shadows. And what shadows are is they're all the different parts of you, because you have everything that's possible, including all the things that you don't like, but then also including all the things that you do like as a mother, as a woman, as a human. You have them all within you, but there's all kinds of aspects, all kinds of qualities that you've disowned, and for this particular training, we're focusing on the things that you've disowned but you actually really, really want. And then there's also the things that you've disowned but you hold shame around and don't want.
But you don't really want, that you secretly feel you'd be better off if you never, ever, ever displayed them. Okay, so both of those types of things are shadows, right? So the first type is the shadow work that probably is more common or more well known, and that's the dark shadow work. And the dark shadow work is,
Hi Lauren, hi Irina.
Oh, I'm glad you guys made it. I think this is your extended lunch break. I think I saw a comment that someone was going to do that.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so your dark shadows are the ones that you're probably more familiar when you think of shadow work, and they're the things that you really wish you didn't have within you, like the yelling or the screaming or the checking out or the, oh my God, I just wish I wasn't a mother today, like all that stuff, right? That you disown. That's the dark shadows, and you're probably more familiar with dark shadow work because it's it's more common. I wouldn't say it's very common, that's probably stretching it. But today we want to talk about the light shadows. Now, the light shadows are just as juicy and beautiful, right? I actually think the light shadows are like awesome. Like the dark shadows are really powerful too, but
they're all powerful.
They're all powerful. But the dark shadows are the ones where you're okay, you know, I'm going to talk about dark shadows because I'm going to talk about light shadows. Light shadows are super amazing. They're the bits of yourself that, as Kaya said, you wish you had, but you don't believe you do, okay? And we're telling you, you do, right?
And just as a bit of a background, because you might be wondering, like, well, why don't I have them if it's something I really want and it is something that's inside me, like the potential's in there, why don't I have them?
Why can't I access them? Might be a better word.
Yeah, why can't I access them? And when I'm sharing this with you, it's not about needing to psychoanalyze your past too much, and it's not about placing blame on your parents or teachers or anything that happened to you, but it's interesting to be aware of the different patterns that happened in your life that had you say either it's not okay to be this, or I'm not this, or I'm not a particular worthy enough aspect of this. And so, like, a few different things can have happened. Like, say for me, I was tuning into what some of the light shadows are that I've really had to work on. And one of them for me is consistency, particularly around, like, there's all these great things that, and it's still one I'm working on actually, great things that I want to do with my children, and I say I'm going to do it, and then I don't stick to like consistently doing it. And I've had a lot of judgment on myself that I don't do that the right way. And I looked at, well, where did that particular light shadow come up. And for me, that was actually mostly like learning it from my mother. It was like I learned different, because as a young child, my mother was an amazing role model in so many ways. But I learned that in many ways to be a really good mother, to not be consistent. So that's one way you can push a light shadow out, is just from modeling. And then also other ways are, say playfulness. There could have been different things that happened to you where your natural, exuberant, playful, uninhibited, authentic energy was shut down, and was,
you were embarrassed.
Yeah, it was told that you were told that it was wrong.
You were too much, or that's fine. And you know, they do often happen younger, but they can actually happen at any time,
any age, any time.
And I think particularly mothers who have their first children, particularly their first children under 1, but like have babies, right? Oh my God, we're actually so vulnerable to other people's opinions then, which sucks because it's a horrible, vulnerable time for us, right? So we're told we're doing it wrong, or we're not even told explicitly, but we've got the eyebrows or the look, right? It's like, oh, I'm doing that wrong, right? So,
and it can happen multiple times, and it can just kind of entrench it further,
reinforced.
As long as you're not actually looking at it and you're just continuing to disown it.
Yeah,
it just makes it more and more the case. And one other way I wanted to talk about is, say for example, you have a light shadow around patience. You really believe that I am not patient, and look at all those patient mothers out there. They're so much more patient than me.
They're so happy to just stare at the bug on the sidewalk for 10-15 minutes while we talk about it. Yeah.
And I just can't be that. I'm not that. I don't have that, but I wish I was that. Potentially different things might have happened to you where you were taken advantage of for your patience. That's another way that it can happen, where actually even if you want that thing, unconsciously you've made it something that's not yours because it hasn't been safe for it to be yours. So there's no like right way or particular way, but for many different reasons, you've pushed this part of you out onto everybody else and said, it's not me. I wish it was me, but it's not me.
And so I've met many mothers who are really definitively 100% closed on that. Yeah, I'm not patient. Like, no, and I don't do play. Like, they're like so in the, like, they're so
I know I should.
Yeah, oh, it would be great and you're an awesome mother for doing that, but it's not me, right? And so that's kind of what we're talking about. Where have you just gone, no, that's not me? Because we would challenge you that it's there, right? And if you are saying, I wish I was that, like I wish I had more of that, that is actually a call from that quality in your body, no matter how tiny or locked away it is, for greater expression, right? It's a value that you hold, and it's actually within you saying, more of this, it's time now, we're going to let me out, right? And so that's the light shadow world.
And the invitation is to not keep focusing on, oh, well, that person has that, and to definitely not then go and try to just emulate that person, but to actually tune into that part of you that is that has that, and get into relationship with that, because that's where the key is for you.
We're going to talk about that in point 4.
Okay, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place.
Jumping all over the place today. That's okay. If you guys have questions while you're on, this is the perfect time to engage with us, to ask away. Everything's welcome.
And let us know if when you're listening to us, what a particular light shadow is for you.
We've all got them, for sure. Like, there's no mother who doesn't have them. And even the mothers that do shadow work will find new ones, right? They'll always, they keep coming.
With all shadows, there's always new layers. And really, the reason there is new layers is because life is about coming into more and more of your wholeness, more and more of your fullness.
That's not going to change. Okay. Anna's got a question. I just wanted to say quickly before we go to Anna's comment, Anna Paula or just Anna, whichever you prefer. Okay, so this shadow work, both the light and the dark, I want to really bring this point clear to you early on, okay? These pieces, this inner work, this is the work of the mother, right? This is the work that you need to be doing to show up however it is that your heart is telling you to show up as a mother, okay? It's within you claiming your wholeness, integrating all your parts back in, the parts that you've disowned, the parts or disowned that way, like, oh, that's not me, but I wish it was, the parts that you've squashed. No one can ever see this, right? You've got to come back into your wholeness in a healthy, transformed, authentic way, right? And this is, you've got to do this in a sustainable, so it creates lasting change. We're not talking about band-aiding, right? We're not talking about strategies that you plaster on the top or 1, 2, 3, like all those, you know, parenting tips out there, right? That isn't it, okay? And I'm pretty sure most of you in our group would know that, right? It's you, who you are as a person is the greatest gift you will give your children. Stepping into that light, stepping into that wholeness, that is the key to showing up the way you want to show up, okay? It's not reading 100 parenting books.
Okay? And you do that by going to the places that you've been ignoring, or you've been disowning, or you've been rejecting, or the parts that have been in your blind spot or been pushed down. Like going there and working with them brings out so much more of your potential as a mother, as a woman.
Naturally, right? Then that can rise spontaneously, and you can stop feeling like you've got to memorize a gazillion parenting techniques. Okay. So do you want to read?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anna Paula, never thought about it. It's never been safe for me to be calm. I like to say I'm working on that. Baby girl is crying. I'll catch up later. Love this topic. I feel calmer just looking at you talking.
Awesome.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting, the things that we tell ourselves we can't be or we're not. And Kaya and I are going to tell you hands down, that's not truth. Okay, it may feel 100% like truth for you, like no, you don't know me, right? I am the most non-patient person on the planet, right? But I'm telling you that it is within you.
And Anna, just a couple of things that are popping up for you. One is, one of the key things to keep coming back to is remembering that part of you that is calm but that hasn't felt safe to be expressed, is, just think of it as like a little girl in you that needs a lot of love and needs a lot of care. So just remember that, like, just come to it with a lot of compassion. And another thing is, as you probably already know, your children, like your baby that's crying now, they are the greatest teachers and always the greatest mirrors and the opportunity for you. Like, so when you're going to your crying baby, you might not be here listening because you might be with your crying baby, but hopefully you'll listen to the replay. When you go to your baby, firstly, remember that there's this part in you she's up right now, obviously, because she's here in this workshop with us, asking for your attention. Be extra aware of how she's experiencing your baby crying.
Yeah.
And take note of that and hold space for her as well.
Yeah. So there are 2 parts of yourself that are involved in any shadow transformation. And if you come and do Transforming the Shadows of the Mother, you're going to transform and know these parts of you so well, right? But there's 2 big ones, okay? There's the shadow itself, light or dark. So either the yelling, screaming, rageful mother,
or the calm little girl who's been made wrong, who's not safe to come out.
Or the playful part of you, right? Or whatever it is. There's like 10 of them that we're going to go through in the course. There's like lots of them, right? But so it doesn't matter which way. There's the shadow itself, right? And there's another really important part in you, and she is your judge or your PR manager. Depends how you want it, whatever you want to call her, whatever works, right? She's the part of you that is like, this is me and this is not me. This quality is unacceptable and not okay. We hide this bit. This never comes to the light of day.
And she's actually, in some ways, she has been there to protect you. Like,
she's trying
this is what's okay because that this terrible thing happened, or that, like, yeah.
She is actually trying to serve you. every part of your psyche is trying to serve you. I know it doesn't necessarily feel like it when they come out critical and mean voices and they make you feel like crap, but she is actually trying to serve you. And we go into that in the course, right? So, but this judge is the part of you that would say, I'm not calm or whatever. And she would also be the part of you that could be going into freak out mode when your baby cries, right? No, I'm not calm, I don't know how to do right? And your baby, particularly babies, but all children read that energy, right? It's like you play off each other. You know, in the days when, you guys all know this, right? The days when you're all over the place and ungrounded or got stuff going on are often the ones where your kids follow you right down the gurgler into crazy land, right? It just spirals down. Everyone's bouncing off each other's energy. You're like, oh my God, right? So your children will definitely mirror stuff. So light shadow. So we'll get back onto the light shadow topic. Okay, we're not going to do a super long, deep dive training. If that's what you want, you should come and join us in the course. It's actually going to be a really small group, which means it's pretty much like small group coaching type environment. You'll be there with Kara and I, and we'll support you through it all. It's going to be extremely powerful. So it's going to be the last thing that we do live.
And it's deep, personal interactions with these parts of you. Like it
is the healing work, okay?
Yes.
So we're not going to do the full healing work here because I would want to be in a nice strong container with you when we did that. I just don't want it to be out there somewhere and hope that you guys are held while you do this work. Kara and I will do the healing work with you, but we'll do it in the container. But for now, what we do want to talk about is we want to give you some really helpful getting started points, okay, that you could actually go and start working through it yourself. So the first piece is around the light shadows. One of the biggest things is that we hear, because we've done this with women for years, right, is, oh, I listen to when women try to claim light shadows and it feels like they're just going through the motions and saying the words. It doesn't feel comfortable to them.
And what we mean by claiming the light shadows is you see this quality in someone else. Like, she is so patient, she's so playful, and you practice claiming it in yourself. Like, I am patient, I am playful. That's what Lisa means by that.
That's what I mean by claiming it, right? So it sounds flat. Their energy, it sounds really alive when they go, God, you're so patient. And then they go, and I'm patient too. Right? Like, it doesn't, they're like, this feels really uncomfortable. This doesn't feel like truth to me. It's not landing. And we have a lot to say about that. But the piece that I want to bring to this is there's two really key pieces. You can't claim a light shadow with just words alone. You guys know that, right? That's not going to work. You can't just, you can't only say the words and not do the rest of it. And the other pieces are, there's two that we want to bring to the table today. The first one is, that quality is within you, right? And it may feel tiny, tiny locked away seed, may feel minute, right? Your job is to, when you see it reflected in another woman, to go, wow, that's so playful. What is the element in that I'm yearning? There's an energetic feel in your body, an experience that you want to feel in your body that feels playful to you, right?
And it is true that you're only seeing it in that person and it's being called to you and your eyes going to it because it's within you and because that part within you is calling to you.
Yeah, no matter how much your judge is saying that's not me, there is a bit, right? So when you see someone being really playful and you get that yearning sense, tune into your body and go, what is the experience in me? Like, if I was to magically be playful, how would I feel in my body? I want you to connect to the feeling in your body. That's the first piece. You've got to connect energetically with it, okay? We obviously will dive deeper on how you do that, but you can start with what I've said now, right? And then this, did you want to say something more on that?
Well, maybe it's the second piece. So
yeah, I think it is. Okay. Yeah. And the second piece is when you start to connect to what that feeling is in your body and what those images are that look like it for you, and not how everyone else does it, but authentically, and this is the key piece, what is it authentically for you to be playful, and allow that to be different to the stereotype of what you keep saying a playful person would X, X, X. Would get down on the floor and build this train set for the next hour. Would run up that hill and roll down it. Like if you want to roll on the grass and like that's not the only way to be playful, right? So authentically, what is it to you? Okay, and that's a bit of a journey, a bit of a process and unpacking, and it gets stronger once you go authentically. This is doable for me, like this feels authentic and true, and this is that feeling in my body that I connected with what playful is for me, right? And the more you go, you just have a tiny experience of it, right? You do it for 30 seconds, you go, oh, I was playful. Then you can go, I am playful, and you can claim those words with integrity and authenticity, and then you're off and you're running and you're cultivating. It still might feel like, oh, I'm only a tiny bit playful, right? But it grows, right, from there. But if you try to do it without the key places, without the energetic connection, and without allowing yourself to be authentic in your expression of it, and not the cookie cutter template of the perfect mother, which is a myth, then you get off and running. Okay, what did you want to add to that?
So I also wanted to add that when you begin that journey of feeling what it feels like in your body, and I do find it really powerful to be aware that there's this part in you that's going, I'm ready, like I'm here, to actually listen to it, to go, okay, so that part in me, what's her wisdom for me? What does she have to bring? Not what all the ideas are out there, but what is she bringing to me? When you open up to that and you begin to explore it, you also discover like what is actually needed to shift in your life. Like what's the actions you need to take? What's the practices you need to take? What different ways do you need to hold yourself in order for her to expand, yes, and become more integrated in who you are? And all the answers to that do come from within.
Always. And oh, I just lost my thought, but it was really important. You were talking about expanding within. That was weird. What was I going to say?
She comes out.
She does come out. She comes out naturally and authentically. And it has to be authentic, right? And that's what I was going to say, the intuitive wisdom piece, right? Her whisper, her little whisper is, could do this for a second, right? Or this might be fun just for a moment, right? Then there will be a voice that goes, well, that's silly. Or like, I don't have time for that. Or like just...
Or you don't do that well enough.
Or you don't do that well enough. Why don't you do that, right? There's that judge again, right?
That's not really it.
And she'll change. She'll transform and grow along with you, and we'll make sure of it as part of the process, the healing. But just when you're getting started with that, just notice that little voice that goes, that has an idea, like, I could take the kids to the pool. Like, you know, whoop, I might do that, right? And the voice that goes, no, I think we should do the groceries because it's like way more important. Like, you're just going to hear that, right? And it's that, I'm using the playful example, but it could be any light shadow that you can imagine, okay? But the authenticity often gets shut down quickly because it's not who we've identified currently. Like, oh, no, I don't do that stuff, right?
And a really, really, really important part of this is acknowledging and receiving when you do listen to that part of you, when you do take action on what this, even if she feels really small, on what this part of you is bringing up in you. When you, even if it's the tiniest little action, really acknowledge it. Like, yeah. I really was embodying my patient mother just then, and really appreciate it, really acknowledge yourself for it.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, the more she can expand as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. In fact, those little moments are where it will start, right? So if I stayed on my playful analogy, right, maybe it is really hard for you to feel like you're enjoying playing, but maybe in a funny way, as you're walking past your kids while they've got the right, you're holding the laundry basket or something, right, and they're doing something, you just do something random and silly. You could like tip the bucket on them and rumble for 30 seconds and then go, okay, I'm done now. Like, it can be quick, right? We're not saying you're going to make a leap from here to here. We're saying you want to authentically start expanding that quality in you, right? Your version of it, right? And this is a really key piece in light shadows. You can't just try to slap the perfect model that you've somehow created on what that is meant to look like on top, and feel authentic and real in doing it. And then you're relying on will, and I've got to remember to do it.
Also, when you're trying to do that, you're not actually coming from that part of you. You're actually coming from like another layer of that judge.
Yeah.
To like almost to prove yourself that you're not that even more. So it's like not
so
effective.
That is not the way to do light shadows. Do not just try to force yourself to be playful, or force yourself to be patient, or force yourself to be spontaneous, or whatever it is. Force yourself to be consistent. Yeah. You need to do the work on the inner, and the energetics, and in the psyche that naturally, sustainably and authentically expands the quality within you.
Yes. So let us know what you got from that personally. We want to know.
We want to know in replay too. We want to know where this is landing for all of you. Okay?
Because and what you're taking forwards.
Yeah. Okay, so while you guys are typing in whatever you want, this is the time now to ask us any questions, anything at all. This is also the time to tell us what you got out of that. We call it a goddess wink in Circle Together, but like what it means is, what's the one piece? You don't have to cram everything we said into your head. There's one piece, or maybe two, but one piece. I'm going to just find one that you went, like a little ding inside. That's your bit, right? It's your bit of what we said. What is it? Tell us what it is. We seriously, genuinely want to engage with our community here, okay? And so while you're contemplating that, we want to tell you quickly that there is only a couple of days, start on Saturday, to come and join us in Transforming the Shadows of the Mother if you want to do a deep dive. There we are covering 10 of the most universal shadows of the mother, and I'm going to tell you hands down that these shadows are in all of us, every single mother on the planet. These are universal shadows.
Universal, but also the personal element of it, and the
way they manifest in you is
you, but it's also incredibly profound to connect with your unique aspect of that universal archetypal shadow, and to go on a healing transformational journey with her. We promise that will be like no other transformation you've ever experienced.
Ever. It will be really, really profound. And also, I want to bring to the table here that you are going to be blending motherhood, which is the most fertile ground in your life for self-growth. I'm just going to make that statement hands down. Your children are going to make you grow all the time. That's just going to happen whether you're conscious about it or dragging and kicking, right? Your children will force you to grow. So you're blending that world with the world of your personal growth. Right? You're consciously linking them together. It will ripple out. So while you are going to shift and relax and expand into that mother you most want to be authentically and sustainably, you're also going to feel this ripple out into every area of your life. Every single shadow. Every time you transform a shadow, you're going to see it turn up in your business, in your relationship with your partner, in your children, in the way you relate to your community, everywhere.
Just in the way you hold yourself, in your own relationship with yourself, your confidence in the world. Yeah.
So this is your evolution, and that is your work as a mother, right? Your growth is the gift that you are giving your children. Okay, it's not a nice to have when you get the time or when you get around to it. It is the core piece of your sacred duty, raising your children and growing and stepping into your wholeness and light so you can better raise your children. Right?
And because it epically serves you as well.
Yeah. And then, of course, as is in all divine compensation, it will epically serve you as well as a woman. Okay, so this journey starts on Saturday. If you sign up in the next, 12 hours, because we've got people all over the world, so we have to give some time zones, right? If you catch this live now and you sign up now, then we are guaranteeing to give you a private with us during the workshop, right? And that's like mega bonus, right? To come and do a full 90-minute private with one of us, deep dive, do the huge healing journey that you want to do. Okay, you're going to do all the healing journeys on the 10 shadows anyway.
And there's so much space in there to do all the personal work, but this is just like refining it so much more, like guaranteeing that the transformation you want is fully
so
complete.
Most women come to us with like one that they're really clear is really, really up for them, right? And then maybe that's the one that you want to go the extra mile and do the deeper work and do the private session. Okay, it's up to you when you use it in the course. It's up to you to book it, but it's yours if you join in the next 24 hours. Okay, so the sales page is not currently in our description, but we will put it there.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, and that you get. There are the early bird bonuses are still there for most people. For some people, for most people. Okay, and so there's some other disappearing bonuses on there too. One of them is one that people are really keen about, is the workshop on doing shadow work with your children, helping them integrate and just retain wholeness and light as they're growing and stepping forwards, instead of accumulating a whole heap of shadows that they then need to work on later. Yeah.
And actually also forgot to say, when you join our other Facebook group that is a very intimate client group.
The sisterhood.
Yes. And in that, we, as well as all of this, so there's so much potential to connect with us and to really make sure that you do the work that is there for you to do. We do monthly Q&As where you can bring any questions that you want to bring. If there's anything that feels not quite complete for you, and we'll dive into it.
Yeah, they're on every month, right? Beyond just the program. Once you're a client of ours, you're in the client group, and that's something that we do for all our clients every single month.
We're here for you.
Yeah. So the course itself has the 10 universal shadows, has all the healing sessions in it. They're all, okay, the way it works is there'll be live calls, okay, where you're muted and not on video, right? We're well aware that you probably, at least half of them will have kids with you. We get that. We're used to that, right? If you can't make them live, they're recorded. They're yours to keep forever. They're in the members area. That content doesn't go away. We are totally here in the Facebook group. You will make some of the calls live. In those, you have so much space and energy, like whatever you want to bring.
You can go back over the processes because it's sometimes powerful.
You can go over it again and again if you want. You can connect with us live on the calls. You can unmute yourself. You can type into the text chat, whatever you need to do to engage with us, right? It's all there for you, and it's yours forever, right? It doesn't go away, because I know that sometimes we're like, oh, I can't commit to all of those, right? We get that. We get that. And it's all there for you. Seriously. What else do we need to tell them?
Just to come and join us. If you're feeling the call, we get that sometimes it can be scary on many levels to say yes to something like this, to say yes to yourself, to say yes to something that I guess an inner part of you knows is important or big for you, and to let that in, to allow that in.
To hear the voice that's still underneath going, yeah, you should do this, yeah, you should do this. Because some of you, that is, right? And in total transparency, if you've been in our community for a while, and lots of you have, and you're like, I'm going to do work with Lisa and Kale later. And we get that all the time, right? Oh, God, I love you guys, but I'm so in the future going to work with you, right? Okay, this is your future. This is the time now, because
we've actually burnt ourselves out a little bit.
We're done live for the long haul at the moment. So this is it for us. So if you were thinking, I want to do something live with these guys sometime in a small group where I can really talk to them, and this is it, okay? This is the one. Okay, lovelies. Thank you so much for everyone who's been on here all the way to the end. Much love. You've got a couple days. Ask whatever you want in the Facebook group. If you join in that 24 hours, you're going to get your bonus private, which is a big bonus. I'm nervous. How many? No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I'm like, wow, we're going to do a lot of privates for the next couple of months.
We love to do.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, so thank you so much. Mwah.
Let us know how you go with it too.